I won't really go to explanations. Axe, though, I will go to explanations to the teams I think have a pretty good chance, all right? So I think Axe actually do have a pretty solid chance here. They are second place from MENA. They're very, very good. You guys probably know some of the members. These members, some of them, were part of the Ultra Legend squad from MSC. The team that went from no-namers, a bunch of randoms, no org sponsor as well, by the way. And they made it. They became champions of MENA last season. So, now for Leon and RG, I'm sorry. I'm not really going to rate them too highly. We haven't seen too much from the regions, from these regions, again, in wildcard. Unfortunately, we just always see them kind of fall short. Next up is Team Zone, I'm debating whether I should put them in B or A. Because Team Zone, if you guys don't know, are the Mongolian team. They have a bunch of newcomers. Like, I think 3 out of 5 of their players are in the top 10 of youngest players in MS7. So they got a lot of new young guns, plus Zuxora. You guys probably know Zuxora, the guy who was the jungler for Lil Gun, Aichi. The Stars from Mongolia, the team that put Mongolia on the map with Ethan, Aizen, Forbid, Bebex, you know, that roster. But it's just Zuxora, who is now in Team Zone with the rest of the young guns. So Team Zeta is another team that, you know, Z's in the chat, we've been hyping up a lot. They also got to play in the GOTF tournament. And, oh, sorry, Mongols didn't play in ISF. Mongols played in GOTF, my bad. But yeah, GOTF, we saw them there in GOTF. Zeta, we also saw in the GOTF. And in GOTF, they were surprising. With all the memes aside, with all the jokes aside, Zeta are not a team that I expect to make it out of wildcard. They're a team that can contend to be, you know, to get out of wildcard, but I don't think they're going to make it. There's so many more experienced teams here. And to remind some of you guys, or maybe to tell some of you guys, to inform some of you guys who just don't know, Zeta, this is their second time participating in an international tournament. The first time was MSC wildcard, where there were promising moments, there were promising members that they kept, Junichi and Ten. Those two, keep an eye out on them, because if they win, it'll probably be because of Junichi or Ten. Both of them are really, really good players. The rest, though, it does look like they are lacking a lot of experience, a lot of the discipline as well. They just keep on going for fights. So for the teams who want to try to beat Zeta, you go for fights, you can get out mechanically outclassed. But if you want to just go and systemize them, take objectives, snowball out of control, which I think that other A tier and S tier teams will be able to do against Zeta. Yeah, Zeta ain't going too far if that happens. So I'm gonna put Zeta here at A. And the first entry to the S tier will be Busquets Esports. Now this could be just a Turkey bias, because Aurora Turkey did make it to GOTF finals. It just shows that the quality of play is very, very good from Turkey, right? Busquets got destroyed, by the way, in case you want to know. So maybe this is a bit generous. Maybe we should put them somewhere here, actually. I'm going to put it down. You know, I'm just remembering the 4-0. I'm going to pull it down just a bit. Aura Turkey are very, very good. They did make it to the grand finals with GOTF, but Busquets are a lot weaker. All they'll do, I'll just put them here. Maybe even lower than Zone, honestly. Maybe lower than Zone. I think I might have to put them lower than Zone. Next, we got our first entry to the S tier. And this one, I can say for sure, I won't change my mind. It's Guangzhou Gaming. Especially after seeing how well Dianfeng Yaoguai played when they were playing up against, you know, mid-table world teams. Hey, I got a lot of respect for the Chinese teams now. I think they've improved so much because of Dianfeng Yaoguai. And Guangzhou Gaming actually were able to get very close to Dianfeng Yaoguai. In the grand finals of the Chinese qualifiers, it was 3-2. And the reason why I can officially, finally rate China up in the standings now, in the tier list, is because they have listened to our calls. Everybody, the analysts that I've been working with, the coaches, the players, all share the same sentiment about China. They will be very, very good only if they get to play in the global patch when they're preparing for tournaments. In the past, let me inform you again, we've never seen Chinese teams play their qualifier with the global patch. They always play their qualifier with the Chinese patch. And the Chinese patch is quite behind compared to the global patch. There aren't as many heroes, so a lot of the new heroes aren't actually there. That's why when they play the global patch, they're like completely confused. And that's why when we got the global patch before, it's like, are they even the best teams from China in the global patch? Because they did qualify through the Chinese patch. So now they fixed it. Now they play the qualifiers entirely in the global patch, which is great. They get to get used to the heroes that they never had access to before, that they only had access to when they were out of the Chinese qualifiers. And that, I think, has made the team, both Dianfeng Yaoguai and Guangzhou Gaming, a lot stronger. They also have rookies, sorry, not rookies, they have imports, Guangzhou Gaming. One of them is a SEA Games gold medalist. They got Owl in the team. Solid gold laner, and I think the best gold laner in the wildcard. If not for Virtus.pro, that I will rate higher. Maybe Owl is the best gold laner in the wildcard, but Virtus.pro are such a solid team. They have everything in their arsenal to be a great team. They got hunger. That's number one, obviously, right? They've never won an MCC. They got the young guns. They got a star player in Zaur Egoist, the guy who wasn't able to play at MSC because he was too young to play. He's finally here. We got to see Andoryu in Virtus.pro for MSC. And though I think we can definitely make some comparisons here and there between Zaur and Andoryu. Andoryu much more experienced. He's played in different leagues as well. But the connection is very important in MLBB. And with Zaur Egoist, we saw that connection in MCC. They beat Versotime. We know how we rate Versotime right now. They're pretty darn good after the winner is coming tournament. And they actually beat Team Spirit as well in the upper bracket finals. Virtus.pro were the first team to qualify to M7 from MCC. They did end up losing to Team Spirit in the grand finals, but Virtus.pro showed what they've got in a global ban draft. That's a reminder for you guys. They played global ban up until the grand finals. The grand finals, I believe, was not global ban, and that's where Virtus.pro just couldn't get a hold off of Team Spirit. But with the meta shaping up to be more of mechanical roamers, I do believe Virtus.pro will get a little bit stronger than Team Spirit, where again, for Spirit, we don't really know about Sawo. He's really good, don't get me wrong, but he's kind of the guy you would expect to be on heroes that are more like the Gatot Kacha, the Hildas, the Hyloses, the less mechanically challenging heroes that just, you know, make calls maybe, or screen and covers. I don't know how he's going to do on the Chos. I don't know how he's going to do on the Kaleas. I don't know how he's going to do on like the top tier picks. So we'll see about that. But Virtus.pro, insane potential. I love this team. I want a jersey Virtus.pro. I'll be rooting for you in the wild card. So yeah, that's Virtus.pro for me. Oh, wait, last one. They have Coach Fly Solo. This guy's been all over the world as well. Fly Solo's been coaching so many different teams. And man, I'm going back and forth everywhere. And he's brought that experience to the team. I think that's why Virtus.pro have looked way stronger now than before. So yeah, a very experienced coach, amazing players, all that. Virtus.pro will win wildcard, and I think Guangzhou Gaming will be second. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. I think these are going to be the top two for me, prediction-wise, for wildcard. So I'm going to be using Guangzhou Gaming and Virtus.pro in the main stage tier list, part as the wildcard teams. Okay, but if they don't win, then it's just wildcard 1, wildcard 2. Just use Virtus.pro and Guangzhou Gaming for wildcard 1 and wildcard 2 for main stage. Okay, so yeah, let's move on to the main stage tier list. All right, welcome back, boys. I just, swapped around the teams, put the wildcard teams back down, and now we're going to be starting the main stage tier list for M7, baby. Let's go. All right. S tier. Ooh, okay, wait, we got Virtus.pro first. So this is wildcard 1 slot, okay? Wildcard 1 slot. To be safe, I think I'm going to put them at B for now. We're going to raise them later on, depending on the stuff can change, okay? Let's move on to Yangon Galacticos. Oh, man. This is going to be a kind of a rant, and we're going to be staying a lot longer on individual teams now compared to the last wildcard one, where we just spoke about a few teams that I feel like can win. Yangon Galacticos, I hope you don't follow in the footsteps of Mythic Seal and Falcon Esports, because I will say it right here. I'm sorry to the Burmese fans, man. I love you. Seriously. I've been hyping up Burmese teams like Mythic Seal with Ken last season at MSC, Falcon and M6, and obviously Yangon Galacticos with a win in MSL. I got to cast MSL, and I'm very thankful for it, and that's why I love the Burmese fans. But your teams have been ass, seriously, in internationals, mainly the last two. The Mythic Seal making it to top 8 and losing to ONIC. Well, we'll erase that. Unlucky, you got matched up against ONIC, sure. SEA Games and IESFM was, I think, a big blow to my expectations. I was super disappointed with Mythic Seal and Falcon Esports in those two tournaments. They just had zero clue what to do every single time. And this is not a diss at their players. I think it's a diss at their players and their coaching staff. because the drafts were horrible so many times as well. If you guys want to know which parts of the drafts were horrible, go and watch the watch party again. We were very angry. Falcon Esports were doing some fucking ridiculous shit. You know, Kimmy first pick, first item Sky Piercer, but then no one giving kills to him. Shit like that. It's just like the classic. I think it's very normal, you know. It's very basic MLBB, and they're just not doing it. Yangon Galacticos was an S tier team in my head right after MSL. The way they played, the way they drafted, the way they systematically tore down their opponents, but when they fall behind, they can grind and they can just look for those crazy fights to get back. That was what impressed me the most about them. They love the Helka Roam, they love the Fighter Gold, they have Stitch, who's amazing on Fighter Gold, Mage Gold, MM Gold, he's great on everything. I will have to put them at A tier though, instead of S tier. Why? Because of the performances of their countrymen. I want Yangon Galacticos to do well. I'm rooting for Yangon Galacticos and Spirit for M7. Well, just regions outside of ID and PH. I want them to win. As an Indonesian, I want Indonesia to win. But as a caster, I want the new regions to win. Okay? So, Yangon Galacticos, I will put at A. They still have some really, really strong components in their team. I rate their coach, Marv's, amazing coach. Again, the drafts were spectacular in MSL. And I hope they keep their form. I hope they don't play like Falcon Esports and Mythic Seal. Because if they play like Falcon Esports and Mythic Seal, they're fucking D tier, alright? That shit was garbage. Dog shit, okay? YG, please. I am a fan. Do not disappoint, please. Alright, Team Spirit. Same kind of scenario here, but it isn't because of their other region teams. Their other region teams have been popping off, actually. Virtus Pro look good. Can't talk about them because I'm talking about international performances outside of Spirit. Verso Time have looked really good. Winter is Coming tournament was pretty fun if you guys watched it. They did really well up against EVOS. They beat them. Up against ONIC Philippines, they beat them in the upper bracket finals, but then proceeded to lose in the grand finals against ONIC Philippines. So they did beat both ONIC and EVOS, but then ONIC PH, as usual, adapted to their opponents and beat them in the grand finals. But that says a lot about ECA. That's why I rate Virtus Pro super highly in the wildcard. But Spirit, the champions of this region, this could be unfortunate because of GOTF's weird-ass timing. The tournament, GOTF started an hour after the patch. So we have to take the result with a grain of salt. We don't know who the best at the meta is right now. And maybe Spirit could just be struggling a bit in adapting to the meta, right? I'm a fan of Bomba. That guy's my favorite player from the West now. That MOBA Zane's gone. And yeah, no, I just really like the guy. He's a great XP laner. I think the best player on his team. I'm going to put Spirit in A tier. I won't put them in S tier. Again, before all this, they were S together with Yangon Galacticos. Yangon because of the countrymen, Spirit because of their dip in form. Team Liquid Philippines. Yeah, we don't even talk about this team. No, like why the fuck would I? No. They are de facto still the best team in the world. They 3-0'd Malaysia in SEA Games and made it look easy. They made Malaysia look like TLID Indonesia, bro. Like they just 3-0'd them. It's crazy. This team is ridiculous. The fact that we didn't get to see them in GOTF makes them a bit scarier, honestly. Like, fuck. They have 3 different XP laners, Sanford, Vinuya, CC Immune, which is going to be crazy to draft against, right? Because if Sanford gets banned out, Vinuya just walks up. If the Teresa gets banned out, then CC Immune is a Lapu-Lapu specialist. They can do all kinds of things, okay? Yeah. Their jungler is pretty good, although I will say Nepomuceno is better. Carl Tizzi's pretty dog shit. And yeah, I guess that's it. TLPH, best team in the world. Nope, BTR, best team in the world. They're just not here. Falcons, Mena. I think I'm going to put them in B tier. I don't think I have the balls to put anyone in C or D because everybody looks pretty strong. Or maybe, you know what? I might be speaking too soon. Never mind. I got the balls. It's just, I don't think Falcons are that bad. Falcons actually proved to be quite impressive, actually, against ONIC ID. If they didn't fucking botch their own drafts in game number 3, I think they could have actually won against ONIC ID. But unfortunately, they did, and they lost against ONIC ID. Still, getting a game off of ONIC ID, getting a game off of RQ is pretty solid. It's just, I don't know what is up with the players, because some of the players just take things too far, man. Let's move on to SRG OG, instant S tier. I have made the mistake of putting SRG in A tier in MSC, and I will not make that mistake again. Why did I make that mistake? Because I saw MPL Malaysia, and I'm like, holy shit, they don't look good in MPL Malaysia because they're up against dog shit teams for the most part. But then after MSC, I'm like, wow, I see their games in the international stage and I'm like, yo, they are just different every fucking time. M6, obviously, MSC 2025 as well. The only time that they looked very impressive for me and they ultimately did it, right, was MSC 2024. I was also there. I was saying, like, no, these guys are gonna do a very, very good job at MSC 2024. They ended up winning it. W Arcadia, W team. So yeah, don't judge SRG based on MPL Malaysia. I've learned that. They play differently. Like in MPL Malaysia, they're playing with one hand. You know, maybe they're not playing with any hands. Maybe they're just letting the AI play sometimes, and the AI is just really, really good. But in internationals, Arcadia locks in, the trio locks in, and mainly Innocent and Cram locks the fuck in. They are amazing, really amazing. If I said earlier that Guangzhou Gaming had the best gold laner in wildcard, I think SRG probably have the best goal laner in the M7 main stage, brother. Innocent is him, okay? I don't think I can rate them higher than TLPH, but I will put them at second for now until ONIC moves into the tier list. Let's move on to ONIC. WSRG, by the way. There you go. ONIC. Now, do I think ONIC are better than SRG? This is a very, very good question. This is a very, very tough question to answer as well. Because we didn't get to see TLPH and SR. Well, TLPH we know are strong because they played in SEA Games. SRG, we have no idea. We got to see the trio mid play, but I don't think that's really a reflection of how good SRG are, right? Like, they are good. They did well. They got stomped by TLPH. But with Innocent and Cram, would that have happened? I don't know. I genuinely do not have the answer to that. Obviously, the Filipinos will just say, yeah, of course, bro, it's TLPH, which is the easy answer. But then you have to ask yourself, yo, Innocent and Cram, you know, these guys are that good individually. They can bring something different to SRG with the picks, with everything, right? They're the clutch factor as well, on top of being top level individual players. So for ONIC, where do I put them? GOTF has proven to us that they are the best when these two teams don't participate, at least. But when these two teams participate, what do we think here? SRG and TLPH have made it to the grand finals of MSC. TLPH on a golden road. ONIC have won both MPLs, but MSC, they dropped. But they lost against SR. They didn't lose to SRG. They lost to TL, and then they lost to ONIC Philippines in the third place matchup. This is super tough. Like ONIC SRG, ONIC SRG, ONIC SRG. Obviously, I'm Indonesian, so yeah, I'm gonna put ONIC right there. I do think they are very similar, all in skill, by the way. Like, I think all three of them can win M7. So take it as you will. I'm just gonna put them there. This is in no, actually maybe TLPH are far here, but like these two are, I think, as good. This could be it right here. This could be the battle for second, or maybe maybe TLPH slip up. Who knows? Guangzhou Gaming next. Oh yeah, do I need to talk about ONIC? I felt like we didn't really need to talk about ONIC because of GOTF. I guess here I'll give you a short summary. It looked really bad. Initially, it looked like the drafts were bad. It looks like the way that they played were bad, and then they just locked it against tough opponents. It seems like they were just taking the tournament chill up until they were up against tough opponents. Then they were like, all right, let's lean back in and then play our game. The draft, Adi CW, it's fucking Adi's fault. Salah Adi. Everything that they do wrong, it's Adi's fault. Everything they do right now, I think it's time for us to say it's Adi's fault as well, because he's doing good right now with CW. W as well in the chat. Skyler, absolute cinema performance in the GOTF semifinals and finals. I love the guy. He came out from streaming from RRQ to do this, and you know that shit ain't easy to do. W Skyler came back from streaming from RRQ. He made tons of money and he still decided to play competitively here. KAIRI's amazing. Everybody else is amazing. Lutpi has surprised me. I thought Lutpi was in top tier. I apologize. I was not familiar with your game, fam. Let's move on to Guangzhou Gaming now, actually. Guangzhou Gaming, they did really well in wildcard. Well, this is wildcard 2, okay? I don't know if this is going to be Guangzhou Gaming or you know, someone else, but I will just put Guangzhou Gaming as a placeholder. If you don't know why, skip or go back to the wildcard tier list. Move on for now. Aurora Turkiye enters the A tier. And it's for the same reason. They are individually actually really, really good. I thought Tianzi was the best player on the team, but Pagu has shown us that he can step up to be the best player when necessary. On the Grok, he's an absolute menace. On the Glue, when he's not up against ONIC, he did amazing, right? So there are a few things that Aurora can bring to the table. Let's move on to Dianfeng Yao Guai. Now, Dianfeng Yao Guai, oh, by the way, for Aurora, eyes on Tianzi, eyes on Pagu. Those are the two guys, right? Dianfeng Yao Guai, same thing. I believe for them, I am going to be putting them at B. I know this is going to be a hot take because they did make it to top 4 in GOTF, but I do say, this is harsh, man, because we were hyping up Dianfeng Yao Guai so much. They have my GOAT, so obviously they should be number 1. But my GOAT is alone. Super Ken is alone, okay? Maybe Long sometimes pops off, but then that's 2 of them. Everybody else has just been very underwhelming. Vel looked really good up against opponents who are not top tier. But up against opponents who are top tier, my lord, did Vel get gapped. My lord, did Yi1 get gapped. My lord, did Zed get gapped. They're getting gapped left, right, and center. Even in the drafts, my boy Lung in the coaching staff. My boy Lung. And Sasa, they're not... I feel like there's still a lot of things that they need to fix in the drafts, in the way they play as well. But for now, they are a bit too one-dimensional. So yeah, I'm going to put them B tier. I would actually say Virtus Pro are better than them. I'll put Virtus Pro over them for now, all right? We'll see if that's true or not. Alter Ego, though, ooh, move on to A tier. Now, why isn't Alter Ego in the top A tiers? Because, my friend, Alter Ego, in Indonesia, there's a meme where you just have to underestimate them. Alter Ego harus diremehkan. That's the meme, right? And I think it's always good to put Alter Ego here. It's a safe spot to put them here. They're overachievers, so maybe they can go up here. But I do think for Alter Ego, their main strength has been taken out by quite a bit, right? Their main strength in the MPL ID Season 16 playoff patch was that fighter goals were a thing, and they were the first ones to implement some ridiculous shit, like the Uranus in gold lane, for example, the Helkert roam in a sense where even when you don't have utility junglers, you can play it out, just like Young on Galacticos, stuff like that. They've been able to do that. And it's because of the mastermind they have in the coaching staff, in the coaching department, which is Zephyr and Styx. Both of them, not just Zephyr, not just Styx, Zephyr and Styx. Those guys are amazing. They're phenomenal. They've basically taken a team that have a bunch of no-namers because some of them looked washed before the season. Like Oleg, not a lot of people rated him before the season. Yazuke is a rookie and he had a horrible first leg. Then second leg, he did improve because of Zephyr and Styx, I believe. Hijume, ALFII, these guys who've just been kind of like on the radar, but barely. They've made these guys superstars. They've made everybody do a really, really good job now. They've improved so much. CFU Gaming. Again, pretty sad because they didn't get to play in C games. I would have loved to see how good they were in C games. Maybe a top 3 finish again. Maybe a grand final finish. Who knows? But they have looked... they've looked good, but they haven't looked amazing. Like, not to the level that I expected. They utilized the full lineup against Malaysia in ISF. And not to say Malaysia's lineup is weak. They're obviously very, very strong. CFU came in with the full lineup, so I actually expected them to do better than what they did in the grand finals of ISF. Yeah, I was pretty disappointed. I don't know how good they are, but I do think, at least for now, I'm going to have to put them right here over Aurora Turkey because they are mechanically amazing. And when they are up against systematic teams, they have a style of fighting that is just super weird. It reminds me of the early days of MLBB where you see teams and you have a distinct personality for each team, right? CFU has a very distinct personality. They love to fight. They're 5,000 gold behind, Boxy flickers in. They are down by 10,000 gold. They don't wane their base. They look for ways to come back in the game. And that's what I like about the Cambodian Sharks. Now Aurora Philippines. They are the definition of the best systematical team in the world. If you look at the S tier teams and then you look at Aurora, there is a distinct difference. In the regular season, Aurora would fucking smash all of the top teams in S tier. But in a world stage, it's always questionable. You don't know if they can. Because for some reason, this team lacks the clutch factor. I don't know if it's because of the style of the coach. I don't know if that's what the coach has been teaching them. I don't know if it's just the players, but they are just too systematical. Again, if you tell me what the best way of MLBB is to play, for all the ranked guys, for everybody who's playing in low-stake situation, I would just point at Aurora Philippines. They do the best. They play the best classic MLBB. But when you're on a world stage, when there's high stakes, when people will make a move that you wouldn't think of to try to revert a play, right? 10,000 gold lead. You wouldn't expect these teams to go in, to flicker in, to look for a play to turn things around. That's where Aurora crumble. Like they're just not built for the high risk style of play. And that's literally the reason why they haven't been able to reach greatness even in their own MPL and playoffs, right? And obviously the world stage that we saw a couple of times now. It's been now 2 international tournaments, I believe. M6, where they lost to Team Liquid ID. They got eliminated. And then MSC, or sorry, not MSC. And then GOTF, where they lost against ONIC ID. And it's in the clutch, in the system, that their system actually kind of becomes their weakness. Their system is a double-edged sword. They will need to make some risks happen. They will need to take some risk. They can't just be playing the classic game of, we win a few things, we build that lead, we snowball out of control, and then we win. There has to be a moment where they can turn things around. And what's sad to me is they actually have clutch players. If I were to mention the 2 players that I think are amazing on this team, they can go toe-to-toe even with the S-tier teams here, it'll be Edward and Yue. Those 2 are amazing players. And I hope our Philippines finally get rid of the choker allegations. Anyways, Evil. Are they better or worse than Guangzhou? I don't know about Evo, you know? Like, Evo, I can't... I'll say it. I actually rated Aether, their jungler, the worst jungler in MPL ID. But I said Vincent instead of Aether because I didn't even consider Aether as an MPL jungler. Remember when I said Vincent was the worst jungler in MPL ID? Aether was playing in the same season. But I never said anything about Aether because I'm like, do I even need to talk about Aether? You know? And then he was part of the Navi roster that went 0-16 as well. So it's like, huh? And he won MPL SG. Like, the fuck is going on there? Gear is really good. They have really good components. I'm not saying Aether's garbage and he can't improve. But like, what the hell happened? How did he improve? How did he win? Was it the coach? Was it the players around him? What happened? How did he go from the worst jungler in ID to winning MPL SG? Obviously, it also could be because MPLSG's competitive level has dropped, but I don't think so, because they have Flash in there. They still also have Diablo, who's playing for Team Stallion with Bray. So they have a lot of veterans. They have a lot of the players I rate internationally, but Evil beat them. And Evil, this is kind of like an Ultra Legend story, where it's a bunch of the guys who you didn't expect to do much in the tournament, and they did it, you know? Shoutouts to Evil. They surprised me. And shoutouts to Aether. Hey, I did not rate you at all, brother. I thought you were dog shit, but you did well. So, yeah. And by the way, we don't have a dark horse this tournament because I feel everybody kind of falls under that category. If there is a dark horse, I think there's only one team that deserves to be a dark horse here, and it's CG. Why is it CG? Because no one expects them to do well, and I actually think they might be able to surprise a lot of people. It's interesting how I think they might be able to surprise a lot of people. Because out of all the teams, I think we all know their strengths individually. Like all these teams like that we've gone through, we know their strengths, we know what they're good at, we know how good they can be, and we know their potential. But CG, we have no idea. Because they're coming from a region that a lot of people just presume to be MPL SRG, me included. I think MPL MY is just MPL SRG. But they have Chiku. I think Chiku and Gary are actually really, really good players. These two I've rated for the longest time, even when he was still part of Todak, Chiku, and when Gary was part of Team Hawk. M4, holy shit. I was so impressed by Gary, man. When he almost beat Echo and he played that Fanny. Anyways, BSC. Now, final team. I feel like it's going to be too mean for me to put them there because I don't think they're there. Do we have a single D-tier team in this tournament? Maybe Evo and BSC, if I'm being honest with you. If there are 2 teams, and maybe Wildcard 2. These 3, the bottom. But because I'm feeling very, very happy, it is Christmas, you know? I don't want to shit on anybody. I'm sorry, you know? Merry Christmas to everybody. BSC are coming into this as the second, or, you know, 3 of these can be... All 3 of them can be reversed. And BSC could be better than Evo, that, blah, 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 blah. But I haven't seen too much from a lot of them, from some of them. And it's just... After RQ Akira disbanded, we haven't seen Latam do well at all. The best team to ever play for Latam was RQ Akira when they still had that lineup. M4, they were amazing, dude. I remember seeing that shit and I'm like, damn. But now it just feels like every tournament we get to see a new Latam team to just fill in the spots. I'm sorry for the Latam teams. This is in no way disrespect. It's just my analysis, you know. I don't, like, that's just it. That's just it for me. I just speak my mind.